our very own Leah Woodbury sat down with Marlene Nancy Lopez, a community teaching artist for the 1111 Collective, to talk about the importance of local art scenes.
Thank you, Sunny. Today I'm joined here with Marlene Nancy Lopez, a community teaching artist for the 1111 Collective. Marlene, thank you so much for joining me today. So starting off, I just want to ask you about the Reseda Rising Art Walk. You were at the event. How did you find out about it, and what made you want to get involved with it?
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Leah, for having me.
Of course.
I found out about Reseda Rising through my collective, 1111. I found out that they were the creators of the whole Reseda Rising project. They actually approached a very wealthy person who was doing developments in Reseda, and they said, "Hey, man, like, you need to give back. You need to, put some culture into this community that's very much lacking it. Let us throw a cultural festival to celebrate the local heritage and the culture of this place." And so they began, I believe, in 2016, and it's been rolling pretty strong ever since. And yeah, and so I was approached because I did this butterfly installation art piece for the org CHIRLA, the Immigration Human Rights org. And it just seemed to fit perfectly with the theme, resistance and rising. And, I found out that I'm like the 1111 ladies, they're very much like revolutionaries in their own way, and they use art as a vehicle to empower communities. So it was a very natural fit for me.
Amazing. And just to touch more on the 1111, can you just tell me about that organization and just about the nonprofit that you're working with? I hear that it's a law firm I see that you're working with to help with the artists. And can you just go more into detail about that?
Yeah. So 1111 was started by Aaron Stone. And I'm the newest member, so I can't give you like the greatest lowdown. But basically, they have been fighting for cultural, presence and resources in the San Fernando Valley for many years. So they throw festivals and they do exhibitions, mostly focusing on BIPOC and kind of vulnerable communities as well. So that's kind of why we kind of vibrated, and we fit together very well. And about CHIRLA, I got to know CHIRLA because they are based in MacArthur Park, which is originally where I'm from. And they're a group of, they're lawyers, but also community members who are, who organize campaigns to improve the human rights of migrants in Los Angeles and to welcome migrants in Los Angeles. So right now they're really at the forefront of protecting people. They're launching a campaign called We Belong Here, in which they're trying to promote awareness about migrant rights, especially the right to a lawyer, the right to not open your door, the right to be informed, things of that nature. So they reached out to me because they knew me. We have worked before in the past. I'm always trying to link my artwork to campaigns. Being a daughter of two Guatemalan migrants, their work was always, near and dear to my heart. So I was always happy to volunteer and help them. And so they came up with this great idea of, why don't we create these really cool like sculptures in front of local businesses that will attract people, and then, connect them to our services, to mutual aid, to anything they might need during these scary times.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are doing a lot of great work. Like, that's a lot of relevancy with what's going on in today's world. So very, happy to hear that. Can you tell me the benefits of being that interpersonally involved with the community and just being at events like that and just doing this public work and involving the public with your artwork? Can you tell me the importance of that?
Definitely. So as you notice at Reseda Rising, a lot of my art pieces, even my murals, are very interactive. I like people to basically get their hands dirty and give them the excuse to be creative, because oftentimes in this society, we don't really have that space. So I have always felt that I couldn't just hoard the experience. Like, it couldn't just be me and be like, this is my aesthetic, this is me, take it. You know, like, I felt like it was giving me so much. I started doing art to build community, but also it started having like this effect on me where it was healing my pain and my trauma. And I was like, oh my God, if it's doing this for me, it's gonna do it for everybody else. So I have to share every experience that I get. And it just feels better, you know, not being solitary alone in a basement painting, you know, like, but to share making an art piece with a community.
Yes.
It just gives it another layer of symbolism, and it gives a piece an energy. So I always try to involve other people's literal like handprints, their energy, their stories into my artwork, and then I view it as a collaboration.
Yeah.
You know, once I open it up for them, then I go in and put in my artistry, and it becomes something different, something that I couldn't have.
Partnership.
Yeah, a partnership. And it's always so much more beautiful than I ever expected. So that's why the community piece, I think, is so important, personally in that way. But I also think it's almost like it's a social justice thing as well, because especially in the neighborhoods that I work in, which is very like impoverished, vulnerable communities, you know, our arts education and our creativity was taken away in a lot of ways. And I'm almost trying to fix that wrong, right, in my own way. I think everyone deserves the right to be creative and express and use paint and creative tools to express themselves. We're all creators, you know. So I really want to have people get their hands dirty and experience that for themselves. And in that way, I think that we can unlock within ourselves like hope and self-esteem and understanding for one another, which I hope ripples off into other places in people's lives.
Yes. Madalena, it was so inspiring and insightful to learn about your artwork and just to learn about the events and the nonprofits that you're involved with and that you're working with. Thank you so much for coming here with me today. Sending it back to you guys in the studio.